Hello, thanks for joining me. You're watching this video because you're researching the FHA 100-mile rule. Maybe you want to know what it is or what the exceptions are and how you can get around it. So the 100-mile rule is something that the FHA guidelines have in place to prevent you from using FHA loans to be house flipping. So FHA loans are supposed to be for primary residences, and if you want to buy a house with an FHA loan, live there for a year or two, and then buy another house with an FHA loan, a new primary residence, and keep the first home with an FHA loan on it, they're going to ask you to move 100 miles away, proving that you really are moving someplace and you're relocating, for example, okay? Because it's not likely you're going to move 100 miles away if you work 5 miles from your current residence, okay? So hopefully that makes sense to you. So if you're moving 100 miles away from your current residence, you can keep your current FHA loan and keep the house you live in now and rent it out and buy another house, a new house, okay? That is your primary, but it'll have to be 100 miles away. Now, here are the exceptions. Maybe your job is relocating you, and they're not relocating you 100 miles, but it's 50 miles or 75 miles. You know, it's a hardship in commuting that kind of distance, especially in an area where the commute time is crazy and there's a lot of traffic, right? So, 50 miles could be 2 hours in some markets, we know that. Especially if you live in Los Angeles, you live in Boston, you live in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm just naming those to be a few because I've been stuck in rush hour traffic in all those markets myself. It could be extreme hardship. Okay, so if you've got a written documentation from your employer that you're relocating, then you can get an exception to the 100 miles. If you're increasing in family size, so maybe you have a 2-bedroom house, but now you've got 4 kids, you obviously need a bigger house, and you want to move around the corner, you could do that if you can show that yes, your family has increased in size and the house you live in is not suitable for the size of your family. Or maybe you're vacating a joint owned property. So that in simple terms, you're getting divorced, for example, and now you've split up and you're currently on the mortgage for the house that you've been living on with your ex, and you want to buy a new house around the corner because you want to live close to your kids, that whole thing. I'm sure there's a zillion examples and reasons of things where that would be a situation. You can understand what I'm talking about. You can do that if you can show that you're vacating a joint owned property. And maybe it's not even you were married, but maybe you bought a house with a boyfriend or girlfriend and it was an FHA loan, and now you are wanting to go out on your own. Also, if you're a non-occupying co-borrower, this is extremely common. People are co-signers, for example, and you're not occupying the house, but now you want to get your own, and the one where you co-signed, it's an FHA loan. You can get your own FHA loan for the house that you want to buy and live in if it's not 100 miles away, if you can prove that you were just co-signing the other loan. So those are the top 4 exceptions. If you have any other situation that you want to talk about, or you want to speak to someone that can help you to get approved for this FHA loan you're trying to apply for because you've had a tough time getting approved and you weren't able to get the exception, then we can help you with that. Just visit us at the link down below in the first pinned comments and also the description at our article on this 100-mile rule at FHAlenders.com. We'll help you there. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.